We're live. What's going on? We're back. It's been 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I did it solo last week, and this is and you're back this week. So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I was out ripping up the Appalachian Mountains. So if you live in the area and you heard loud noises, sorry about that. But got to do something for fun. It's a good time.
Indeed. Yeah. Heard good things.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of guys meet up with us down there. There were just 3 of us that drove down, but I think we ended up with close to a dozen at one point because we had
a bunch.
Yeah, guys from the community, guys from outside of the community. We just had a good time, man. It was really, really good. So I posted some stuff on Instagram, but I'm going to talk more specifically about the rally on my own show later this week because there was a little bit of a lesson that I pulled from it that I wish to share with you guys. If you haven't heard, Moff broke his ankle.
That's right.
What happened, man?
I'm hobbling, dude. I mean, I've been getting back into martial arts training for the last 6 months or so. I started doing private one-on-one. Then I was like once a week. Then I went to 3 times a week. And, maybe like a month or 2 ago, I kind of said like, hey, look, like I'm going to sign up for a fight. I said it on the show. I said it on Instagram. It's going to be like summer or fall of next year. And I was talking to my coach and he's like, all right, well, you got to start getting some more work. We're going to start doing some classes. He teaches a wrestling class on Wednesdays in the morning. So I finally signed up for the gym. First class about 45 or 50 minutes in, right near the tail end, and got taken down awkwardly by a newer trainee. My foot got caught underneath me and just like that snapped the old fibula. So yeah, just knew it as soon as it happened. Went to the hospital, got x-rayed, went to the ortho the next day, got fitted for a walking boot, and I've been sort of homebound ever sined. So it sucks, man.
Get your leg fixed or a broken bone in the States, like in Florida. Is it covered by insurance? Like, how do you do that?
I don't know. So like, I mean, the x-ray costs like $100 or so. And I think to go to the orthopedic, then they had to do, because even if I had an x-ray on Wednesday and then I went in on Thursday and they wanted me to do another x-ray. And I said, I just got one. Like, well, we don't care. And then the x-ray they charged me for was like $300 because that's all they care about is their money.
Right.
And then the boot they got me fitted for was like $500. So it was an expensive visit. And it could have been a lot worse though. I was expecting it to be in the 4 digits. Like I've always had insurance.
But how long did it take you to get all that done?
Well, luckily there was not a lot of people in the emergency room on Wednesday. So I was in and out of the emergency room. They put me in a splint and gave me crutches in the hospital. I was in and out within probably an hour and a half between literally going into the door. Is that a long time? I don't know.
No, it's nothing because
it's quick.
It took me 6 hours to get x-rayed when I broke my hand.
Yeah.
Skiing. It took me 6 hours in the ER. Then it took me another 4 hours to get the cast made. Didn't cost me anything because it's Canada.
Wow, that's what you pay for. Yeah,
sitting and waiting for you
pay with your time.
Yeah, you pay with your time.
But and then the next day when I went to the ortho, that was like a 2 o'clock appointment, and I was out around like 4:30 or 5. So that was a little bit longer, but that's because I had to see 4 different people. First, I had to get the splint cut off. That was from the hospital. Then I went back out and got it re-x-rayed. Then I went back and saw like 2 physician assistants who asked me the same questions that I already filled out beforehand when I got there, like my height, my weight, all that stuff. And then I finally saw the doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, it's going to be 3-month recovery ballpark." They showed me that it's a pretty stable fracture, so I got lucky. Like, in all things considered, I was talking to the guy on the way out of the hospital. I was like, "Yeah, like last year I ruptured my Achilles and I was out of action for like 6 months plus another 2 months of rehab and PT. So, hopefully by Christmas, if not a little earlier, I'll be back. And then by early 2025 should be back to full speed. So yeah, it sucks, man, because I'm a super active guy. You guys know how much I work out and how often I train. I mean, I literally live in the gym, and that's the only place I go besides my house pretty much. So luckily it doesn't affect work or anything, but yeah, now it's just another mental test. So
dude in the chat's asking if there's private clinics or hospitals in Canada, and they do some private work, but not a whole lot. So it's difficult to get like really good service. I had a conversation with Dr. Anthony J and George on a plane and win before I went on my rally, and I can get a coronary scan done, I think for $300 in the States, whereas here you got to wait like months to get it. And even then, they probably won't cover all of it if you had one done recently. So I'll probably be going down to the States for that. But yeah, private clinics are just not a big thing here unless you're in a bigger city. So I have a private clinic that does my hormones and stuff. But for like, you know, you break a bone or something, you have to just go to the hospital and you wait till they see you. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's free care. So everybody's in there like with just bullshit, right? Like moms are in there, their kids got like a cough, like the kid will cough.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh my God, Billy's gonna die, right? And it's like everybody's there for nothing, for the smallest things.
Yeah. So I got lucky. There was nobody else in there. I got right in and out. And I'm also self-pay. Like I don't have health insurance, which is the first thing I said when I broke it. I was like, I have no health insurance. I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, man. It's like, you know, that stuff's expensive down here and you could be paying hundreds of dollars a month, you know, thousands of dollars a year and nothing ever happens. And I guess something does happen, then you deal with it at the time. But dude, insurance companies just have so much money. They're just like, it's ridiculous how much money they have.
Only businesses that get paid before they render their services.
Pretty much.
It's a really good
It's
business.
preventative. It's a fantastic business. And it's people wonder like how they have all these money, like
recurring revenue. You get paid before you even provide the service. It's unreal. Yeah. And then a lot of the times when you try to file a claim, if something happens, and I've seen this with automobile insurance, I've seen this with all kinds of insurance, they make you jump through hoops, or you don't you miss this, that, or the other thing.
They'll do whatever they can to not insure you and have to pay out any money. Yeah. Some guy asked, are you still going to the gym? I'm not going to the gym right now. Like I'm playing the waiting game to see. So if I get cleared next Wednesday, I'm going back to the ortho on Wednesday next week to see if I'd be weight bearing at that point. And if I can, then I'll probably be going back to the gym and just doing upper body stuff. So probably just going to take this week off. You know, I was looking online about like some weight sets and some benches and stuff, but I don't want to shell out like $1,000 for equipment if I could just get back in the gym like middle of next week or the following week, because we got the trip coming up. So, so we'll see what happens. But right now, just going to rest and relax and take care of it, which is crazy, but got to stay busy somehow. So.
Yeah, and I just put the ticker there for the School of Unplugging just as a reminder, because price goes up at the end of the month.
We're not gonna tell them what it is. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is. So
there's also an annual option too, which is a pretty good savings. They just integrated that into the school platform, so now we can give you guys like a 23% discount, I think.
Yeah, it's close to that.
Annually rather than monthly.
It's like 25% discount, and then you unlock all the courses right away, so you don't have to kind of wait. And that's a pretty damn good deal, to be honest. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got a bunch of bookmark stuff if you want to dive into those, if there's anything else.
Let's hit it.
Let's hit it, man. Let's hit it. So I got a couple weeks worth of shit because I've been tearing it up, man. Okay, so share screen, present. If my audio is a problem tonight, guys, let me know, because I'm not rolling with the headphones. I'm just playing the audio through the speaker. So if you get
and I want to know what my audio is like, because I took your guys complaining for the last year to heart, and I finally got new hardware. So hopefully it works for you guys out there. So let me know how it sounds.
Your ears won't bleed anymore. Now you've got the depth of range with the Moffat.
There you go.
Rich, you're a little quiet, Moff. You're fine. All right. Let's try.
I'm always fine, baby.
How's that?
Don't forget it. I don't have any issue. You sound good to me.
All right. Both audios are good. All right, we're good. Share screen. All right, what do we got here in the tags? This is a good one. I gotta play the audio on this, so hold on. So this is Whitney Cummings. I don't know if you remember her, but she did a
sucks.
Yeah, she sucks. She's not a very good comic.
It's not funny.
But she did a paid placement on Bumble years ago. I don't know if you remember the ad that she ran, but she was basically shitting on and disparaging men in Bumble. You know, kind of making them look like, oh, let's mock them, sort of thing. Like your typical advertisement, right? Women are so strong and empowered, and men are just dopey idiots, so we have to help them out. That was kind of the role that she played. So she's sitting here in this 40-second clip, and I hate that it takes women this long in life to arrive at this. Like, women would just be so much better off if they understood this much younger in life. But I just want to play this for you guys. Just listen up. We'll talk about it.
Never gossip about your man. Ever. Ever. If there's a texting with some other girl, you don't tell any of your girlfriends. You take it to a therapist, you take it to a 12-step meeting. Like, don't ever gossip about your person. Don't ever make fun of your person in public. I see people a lot, like that, women that don't understand why relationships aren't working. And then you go out on a double date and they're like, cause he fucking can't get out. And you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're embarrassing your man in front of a bunch of people, you know? It's like, this to me is about, like, that's what it means to be soft, I think. To just like bite your tongue, shut your mouth.
Did you get the gist of that? I don't know if you got the audio and all that. Was it clear?
Yeah. You're good.
Took her that long to get to that point. Like it's always by the time they hit their 40s that they come to this realization, like, you can't disrespect him. If you start to disrespect a guy, it is the clock that will count down to the end of that relationship. Contempt is the clock that will count down to the end of that, because you'll just get fed up with your shit. And women have just gotten so comfortable because media and music and all these influential sources are basically telling them, just shit on guys. Who cares? Just flick boogers at them, make fun of them. We all grew up on sitcoms where, Dr. Huxtable was like the butt of all jokes on the Cosby Show and stuff like that. You guys understand what I'm talking about. But finally, it's when they get to this age, and they usually become a mother too. I think she just had a kid, by the way, if I understand it correctly. But when they get to that point, that's when they're like, yeah, you can't do that to guys. It's just not good.
Yeah, she just had a kid like a year ago, but it doesn't say who with. It doesn't say if they're still together. So, I mean, who knows? My guess is single mom. But yeah, I mean, but I'll take it a step further. Like, you don't need to talk about that with anybody. Your girl doesn't need to be going to therapy. You don't need to be talking to a clinician about it. Like, keep that stuff in the family. Like, there's nothing that you need to go outside of the relationship to talk about. I don't see any reason where you need to air any sort of laundry, or you need to air any sort of issues out to anybody that's not your husband or guy or whatever. It just doesn't do anybody any good, because especially somebody who's a therapist, they have incentive. They're incentivized to keep you coming back. They don't want to help you fix your problem. They don't want to help you solve it. And if anything, we know about just if we know anything about the majority of people in therapy, the majority of therapists are liberal women. So, I mean, what's more like, we know what the way they lean. I mean, in all likelihood, they're going to be giving you some dog shit advice. So there's really no reason to talk to anybody outside of your relationship about your relationship. There's just no reason for it.
Yeah. Let me just share a quick story about therapy. Because whenever I meet somebody new that knows me or is, referred in by somebody else, like a friend of a friend or a guy in the community sort of thing, the first thing they'll immediately do is tell me their story. They read the book, they saw some video on my channel, and they've got like a story to share. And I always want to hear it. It's always very interesting. And this guy is telling me the story. His wife wanted to untie the knot, and she was going to therapy, and he wanted to figure out what was going on behind the scenes. So he covertly put a recording device that captured the conversation between her and the therapist. And what he heard was unbelievable. Zero support for, the relationship. When she makes the announcement, I'm dead, I can't do it anymore. It's not, I want to get out, sort of thing. The grass has got to be greener somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. The therapist is like, thank God that you're taking your chi and your power back. And, you've got the strength and the wisdom to, and this guy's a solid dude, like a really fucking good dude, strong income earner, good looking, a good father, all this sort of stuff. Therapy, you send her to therapy, you're fucked.
You're signing your own death warrant, man. You might as well just start packing your stuff.
For this too. He's paying for this as well. It's hilarious. I won't tell you the whole story, but it's like, I've heard versions of this many, many times. It's unreal. Okay. So I got another one over here. It's kind of a 2-pager, but along the same sort of lines. Wife of 5 years said she's done. I'll just read it because some of you may not be able to see it. My wife is 39, told me he's 36, so she's 3 years older than him, that she was done. I'll try to make this as quick as I can. Last week, I saw her texting somebody. I didn't see anything too insane, but it was totally flirty, and he was calling her hot and this and that. I confronted her about it at night, and I was kind of heated. Her knee-jerk response was to say, I'm done. I don't want to be with you. I want him. So she actually stated that. Another 10 minutes of fight ensued. When things settled down, she sort of backtracked and said she said all that because she's sick and tired of me accusing her of things and she has fallen out of love. So it's his fault, apparently, that she's stepping out on him now. Said that she isn't seeing anyone or doesn't want to. I would call bullshit on that based on the text messages he read aloud. She's just tired of me being accusatory and reminding her that I caught her sexting her ex 4 years ago as well. Oh, gee, there's a pattern there. See, this is what happens, guys, when you connect with a chick that doesn't have genuine burning desire for you. When you're her second, her third, her fourth, her fifth choice, a strong indicator is that she's sexting her ex 4 years prior. I don't know how long they've been together. He hasn't said just yet. I admit I was devastated when that happened. When we have an escalated fight, sometimes I bring it up. I'm wrong for that. After a 3-hour talk, she basically said, in my words, that the magic is gone and she wants the old me back. I used to be her ride or die partner forever. There's that word, partner. But especially the last 6 months, she has faded away. The stipulation to this is at the end of our talk, she says she is willing to give me a chance or try to get back to the old me, which will help her reconcile her disdain. She wants the old me back. We have changed over the years. But I do know what she means. We have shifted our focus from each other to our son, which has taken a toll on the relationship. You've probably heard a version of this, or maybe heard an uncle say this, or maybe a father or an older brother or something like this. It's always the same story. We've changed the focus on the kid. Our relationship took a toll, blah, blah, blah. But she's got time to sex the guy from work, right? Understandable. She told me, I don't want to touch freely or a little bit, but I love you. But since last week when we had the one more chance conversation, she stopped touching, responding to I love yous, won't kiss me. I tried to kiss her bye when I left for work. She said I can't. And if she hugs me, it's coerced and seems disgusted. She limits conversation to priority kid stuff like bills need to be paid or what food to bring home from work. Nothing extracurricular. She doesn't respond to texts unless she has to. I asked if I should start to plan for departure, such as apartments, blah, blah, blah. Won't really answer. She's already making her exit plans, trust me. She's also blocked me on all social media and randomly bought a dog yesterday. I've been with her for 10 years total and have never seen her like this. So he's been with her for 10 years, 4 years prior, so 6 years in a relationship. She's sexting away to an ex-boyfriend as well, too. So she's been up to it for a while. Never seen her like this, and it's been the first time in 10 years I'm concerned for our relationship. I don't have any friends that I can talk to, so of course he's going to go to Reddit. So after a week, pure emotional hell, blah, 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 what should I do or think? This chick is brutal, man. And this guy's even worse for putting up with it. It's just over and over and over again. It's always the same thing, dude. It's always the same thing. Complicate life, justify why. I married a hoe that didn't really like me. We had a kid because she wanted to settle and probably had baby rabies because she's 3 years older than me. And then several years in a relationship, she's alpha widow. She starts texting the ex-boyfriend, starts sexting, some other guy to try to spark something up, and then plays stupid and tries to blame it on him because he brought up shit from the past. Oh, it's your fault. And tries to turn it around, gaslight the dude, right? It's always the same fucking circle of bullshit. It's a vortex of crap.
These are the stories that these are the things that really piss me off. These are the stories where I want to grab this guy by the shirt collar and just shake him and just ask him, what are you doing? I mean, of course she got caught and she turned it around on him. Of course she's playing the victim and now he's trying to pick up the pieces and he's just acting like this little puppy dog. Oh, should I get an apartment? How come you don't say I love you? It's like, man, it's been over. It should have been over the first time. Yeah, exactly. It's been gone from the beginning. It gone from 4 years ago. I mean, I get guys that ask me sometimes, I get guys ask me this a lot, on coaching calls and things like that. They're like, I'm with my girl. It's really good, but we did have this moment.
This dude picked up on it. His kid's 4 years old, was sexting 4 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, might be smart to get a DNA test. But yeah, I mean, these guys they'll go and ask, they'll say, oh, things are going really great, but we did have an issue a couple months ago or a year ago when our relationship first started. And I tell it you're never going to get over it. It's always going to be there in the back of your mind. It's just are you going to want to deal with it or not? Like things like that. I say like, it's like a blister on the bottom of your foot that'll never heal. It's not debilitating. You can still walk, but it's annoying and it's always going to be there. So you can go through the rest of your life with a blister, or you can find something else and you can heal and be with another chick or whatever. But these guys will complicate it, and they just, it's easier just to do it this way. Or man, God, these are baffling stories. Like, I don't know how we keep coming to this.
There's a never-ending supply of people going to discussion forums and Reddits and Facebook private groups, pouring their heart out to people they've never spoken to before about shit
who
they
don't
have no
care.
idea how to- yeah, exactly.
Strangers
for advice
and
on a difficult subject that they can't figure out, and all they do is they just take on more blame. Oh, it's got to be my fault because I brought up that shit from 4 years ago, so I'm a bad guy, and that's why she doesn't want to kiss me bye from work. Blah blah blah. It's like, dude, she's out. There's like, unless like the go game and the stay game is the exact same game. At the end of the day, you got to fix yourself, right? I mean, you're probably done with the relationship. The marriage is probably over. It's going to be very, very, very difficult to convince her that this new version of you, if you can really lean into that, is the real you, because she's going to still see the old fucking loser that she married that she didn't really want.
And I guarantee the advice or the top comment on that is, yeah, man, just figure out what her love language is. What's her love language? Are you making sure that you're buying flowers? Are you making sure that you're attentive to her needs?
Yeah.
Have you tried to sit down and have a conversation with her about how you're feeling? And this is exactly why we do what we do. This is why we have the School of Unplugging. This is why we have the community, because this guy said it himself. He's like, I don't have any friends or anybody to talk to. And he's resorting to random internet strangers who he thinks for whatever reason will have his best interest at heart, which they won't, and they don't. Yeah, it's like, dude, if whatever lightning strikes chance you ever see this, dude, hit us up, man. But yeah, it's for every guy that joins our community and figures it out, there's got to be 1,000 guys that do this stupid stuff and they never figure it out and they get just wrecked. And we feel for them, but my God, man, like, it's tough.
All right, so I found the original post because I want to see what the comments are. I want to see if there's somebody that tells them to. Actually, some of this isn't too bad. Wife's already checked out. She's probably talking to or banging someone else. Somebody says she's already cheating. She's already checked out. Oh, here's one. Yeah, okay, gaslighting. So she's cheating and she's blaming you for it instead of being apologetic. Actually, it's actually getting better. There's only a couple of love language.
Maybe the tide is turning.
Yeah. Wow, it's actually not too bad. Maybe it's like, some of these guys are getting like red pilled. Can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I mean, guys, like if you're not her first choice, this is why you got to vet her for a few years before you do anything, before you put a baby in her, before you get married, before you do anything stupid like spend a fortune on a giant ass wedding, only to learn a few years into the marriage that you weren't her first choice. That Tyrone or Chad from back in the day that just did it right. She's never forgotten about him and looks him up on Facebook and messages him and stuff. I've had chicks from like my 20. I had this chick a few years ago from my 20s. She randomly DMs me on Facebook and she's all, I screwed up, Rich. You're such a nice guy and blah, blah, blah. And I shouldn't have done this.
It was always you.
Really
You're always the
you,
one.
blah, blah, blah. And I click her profile and it's like, bitch is married with 2 kids. And the guy does well. Like he earns well. They have a nice house. They have a nice car. There's like photos of the kids playing hockey and doing dance and all that sort of stuff. And it's like this random hoe that I dated in my 20s, like reaches out to me out of the blue and like starts flirting with me. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. I've been both.
No shame.
I've been both guys.
Yeah.
Don't fall for this crap. Like, she's either got it for you or she doesn't. If she doesn't have it for you, just get out. Do yourself a favor and get out. It's not worth it. In other news, the total combined NBA payroll for 2023 to 2024 was $4.9 billion. You want to venture a guess what OnlyFans content creators generated?
More than that.
$6.6 billion. Unreal.
Sex sells, man.
Yeah. Being a prostitute is more lucrative than being a pro sports athlete.
Yeah.
This is Elijah posted, he goes, the final result of feminism was women selling their bodies. That's it.
Pretty much.
But hey, you got to do what you got to do. Did you ever see those Tinder profiles that were ever, like created where they have like a really good
I've seen this. Yeah. There was a guy that did an experiment, something similar to this. There wasn't this exact one
several times,
but they've done it a couple of times. Yeah.
So this is a post, this guy's handsome dude with a Superman curl over here. About me, it says, I have a criminal record for beating a woman, but we all have a past. And then it's got a photograph of purportedly his inbox. Wow, I'm going to be completely honest. Good, X. Well, what can I say? What's your favorite Italian dish? Hey, handsome. Hey, how are you? Just, DMs are like filled with this sort of stuff. And here's some purported screenshots. First one says, I got to ask you about this criminal record of yours. I'm intrigued, to say the least. He says, she caught me cheating, but this was years ago. I have to be honest, I am not the same. She goes, I'll give credit where credit is due. I appreciate the honesty. Next chick. Willing to make an exception for blue eyes. He says, exceptions can be made. She goes, good. I must admit, I don't shower. She goes, what? You must be joking. He goes, I love my natural musk. I'm sure you will. She goes, you do look like you'd smell nice, so I'll take your word for it. Like, again, breaking rules for alphas, making rules for betas, right? We've talked about this a million times. Do you want to make another half Italian baby? This is her opening. This is her opening, like right out of the gate. Do you want to make another half Italian baby? He goes, my apartment? She goes, yes. It's that easy when you look like Tyler over here.
Yeah, I've seen worse than this. I've seen bios where the guy's like, yeah, I've been out of jail. I'm a convicted, sex offender.
I've seen several versions of it done, yeah.
This and that. And it's like, I love how that her choice of words, she didn't say I'm concerned. She's like, I'm intrigued. She's like interested in this guy. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can say anything you want. Like, I mean, guys, rule number one, like, be unattractive, or be attractive. Don't be unattractive. Yeah. It's every day, man. I mean, I love how the commentary was like, yeah, repeal the 19th. I mean, but it's you generally think women are one of two things. You think that they are children, or you think that they are high functioning adults, but you can't hold both of those beliefs simultaneously, because you just can't.
Hybristophilia is a real thing with women. You can look it up. It's only women that will message mass murderers, like all of these criminals that have been tried and convicted or are going through trial for, putting people through a wood chipper, or like melting them in like freaking vats.
Chris Watts still gets messages. He gets like women's used underwear.
Proposals for marriage, for children, for having babies. They'll get panties in the mail all the time, routinely. Hybristophilia is common with women. It doesn't happen with men. It only happens with women. It's insane. So these things have been reproduced over and over again. It's just the reality of female nature. Let's get the super chat over here real quick. He says, hey guys, I'm in my 30s and my parents live with me. I'm Indian and it's our culture tradition to do this. Sometimes they treat me like I'm still a child. How can I tell them to stop? Tell them to move the fuck out of your house. Simple.
Pretty simple. I mean, you don't really have anything you can say if they're financially supporting you. I mean, if you're paying for their stuff, or they're living in your house and you're financially supporting them, then they don't really have a say over you. But if you're taking any sort of money from them whatsoever, if they're paying your phone bill, if they're paying for your car payment, anything like that, then you don't really have any room to tell them to piss off. So if you don't want to be treated like a child, don't be on their monetary hook like a child when you're in your 30s. I mean, and even if you're not, dude, sometimes you got to pull the plug and you got to be your own man. I mean, you can make excuses about it's your culture and tradition, or you can carve your own path and say, forget that, I'm going to do my own thing. So the choice is yours.
Yeah. Look, if you live in the West and you're from India, there's certain cultures and traditions you're going to have to leave behind. And if you're a grown-ass adult living in a Western country, US, Canada, England, whatever, things change. And you just fucking tell them straight up, this is my house. You're not going to, throw shade at me here under my roof. Just because you share DNA or blood, it doesn't mean that you have to put up with abuse and disrespect. In fact, I don't see any point to it. I don't put up with any kind of abuse or disrespect or lies from anybody, in my inner circle. I'll have a word with them, but I'm not going to put up with it. It's very, guys, you're going to get out of life what you tolerate. Okay. Very straightforward. So if you want to play the culture card, have fun with that.
Let's go to, before we share the next thing, I want to grab this question too. It's not a super, but at the point of the old flings messaging you, you message the guy about it, or do you ignore it altogether?
I called her out on it. Yeah, like I basically straight up said, like, you're married and you're messaging me, flirting me, and talking to me like this. I'm like, yeah, like, what's that about? And then she ended up getting mad, I think, and then blocking me, if I'm not mistaken. It probably would be worthwhile screenshotting it in case the chick blocks you like that. And then just send it to the dude. Fuck it. You know, let him know what a hoe's wife is. I got another one over here. The ever wonderful Taylor Swift, eh? Before Taylor Swift, there's Travis Kelce, and this is after Taylor Swift. And look at this goofy Gucci bucket hat, and he's got a Gucci
things like $500,
like collar over
that
here. I
bucket
don't
hat.
know if these are suspenders or what we're looking at over here. Are these
I don't know
suspenders?
what that is. I don't think so. Maybe.
Like you're giving up your entire reputation. And there's somebody that showed me this picture of Taylor Swift the other day. I can't believe, like, this guy looks like a Chad. He's a football. Here it is. He's a football player, and he's bending the knee for this. Okay, for this. I've never seen a back continue down right into the legs and completely skip the ass part. That is a phenomenal achievement. It's
we call that
wild.
We call that back crack. That's what that is.
Is that what you call it?
Back crack. Yeah.
I've
goes
not
straight down.
very often. It's like straight down. But he's
kind of hard to do.
Up, man. He's giving up.
Got $100 million deal from Spotify. I mean, must be doing something right. I mean, it's just
what he got, $100 million deal.
Oh yeah, him and his brother
do podcasting with his brother.
It might not be Spotify, but he got maybe a Sirius XM, but they got a huge podcast deal out of it. But
maybe that's what
man.
There you go. I don't know.
Well, it makes a ton of sense. I mean, he's a former superstar whose skills are in declines on the back nine of his career. He's a 30-plus-year-old tight end. I mean, you know, and now he's trying to move on to the next chapter of his life. He's gonna have to stop playing football, and now he's also the guy who was a spokesperson for Pfizer and commercials where he got Band-Aids on his arm. Like, I mean, he's a plant, man. Like he's part of the regime. Yeah, he is.
Got another one over here. So this one is if you've ever golfed, and I don't golf anymore, I really don't like it, to be honest with you. There's a gal that comes around on a cart and serves booze, usually beers. I don't know if they do any other coolers or anything like that, but it was usually beers when I used to play golf when I was younger. And they're always pretty young girls, so you know they're going to get hit on. But I want to play this clip for you so you guys can hear the wrong way to go about your life as a guy, because this is really pathetic. So pay attention here.
Thank you. I am being dangerous. You do recognize that you are absolutely stunning, right? Most men, I would imagine most men, especially of an older generation, they're not used to seeing such apparent beauty. No, when they see someone just as breathtaking as you, it is a wonderful thing to find someone attractive and then to have their attention, for however fleeting it may be. And so for me as a man, to see someone as stunning as you, it is exhilarating. So imagine being in your presence, being in your orbit, these older gentlemen who have never seen such beauty. I would imagine that they are just taken so aback that they become monkeys, like most men are. More into understanding why I feel what I feel.
Are you doing card?
Yes. But I will tell you.
And she's like, are you doing card? Like, can you just pay me so I can go?
This, if I do, which I hope I do.
Hang on, there's more, dude. He's not even done yet.
Jesus.
I think I'll be around.
I'm gonna want to talk to you more. I like being in your orbit. I hope you are told on a daily basis that you are treasured. Much as I hate to say this, I'm going to miss you. I want to enjoy every moment, and I hate knowing that this moment is going to end. You have beautiful golfing in front of me. It's just I have someone so beautiful in front of me right now too. Thank you.
Oh my God, dude! Give your balls a tug, dude. What are you doing? That's like, he's like those guys that wear the fedoras and they send those cringy texts to girls like with the milady, and he does all that in real life. Oh my God, dude. That's like serial killer stuff, man. Like, I'm dumbfounded by this.
Dude. I've done some dumb shit in my life around chicks, but that
Oh,
never go full retard like that.
dude. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm disgusted by that.
Uh,
Good God. And it's so funny how he's like, these old guys probably turn into monkeys when they see you, but not me. I just profess my undying love like I'm reading out of a fucking Shakespeare book.
man.
Where is it going to be on card? Oh, dude, diabolical. And then he kept going after that. He kept going. She was like, cash your card. And she gave nothing, and he just doubled down. I mean, I guess you have to respect it in a way, but
it's
God,
guys
man.
like that create this phenomenon. $6.6 billion given to OnlyFans content creators. $6.6 billion in 2023. It's guys like that contribute to the simp economy. And it's like, we could do the show daily for the rest of our lives until we die, and we still
never
dent in the amount.
We'll never run out of it
that goes on out there. It's like just be nice to women, but have some dignity for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be so full.
And that's even the worst part. It's like, man, you're giving her credit. You're giving her credit for something she was born with. She didn't even earn it. There's no merit. She didn't work for it. I mean, my God, like that's why I honestly think that's why people think that women get turned off by guys saying how beautiful they are and how pretty they are and that kind of thing because they hear it all the time. But I also think there's an inherent part of them, and they realize that it's meaningless because they didn't work for it. There's no accomplishment. They think that complimenting somebody, it'd be like if somebody came up to you and was like, "Hey, man, like, I don't know, like nice glasses, like, or whatever. I don't even know. Like, you're tall. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I was born this way. I just am this way. I don't know. Be somebody complimenting you on how tall you are and say, "Oh my God, you're just so tall. I've never seen anybody so tall. It must be so amazing. Like, you're breathtaking because of your height." It's like, it's weird.
That's just how women live life, man. That's just how they go through life. I mean, even average or like, I don't know what she looked like. You couldn't see her face, but I mean, she had a decent, physique from what you could see when she was
cart girls are hot.
Yeah. Like cart girls are generally like a solid 7, 8 minimum, right? But
of course,
they go through life getting versions of that on a regular basis. So,
but you even heard how disgusted she was. She was like, card. It's just
card, please, so I can go.
And that guy literally goes back to his tea. He's like, "Man, I can't believe that didn't work." You know, like.
And it's definitely not the first time because she recorded this one, so she probably saw him come. And was like, let me record him this time to see.
Yeah, make sure there's a dash cam. My God, man! Like, I mean, it's like we get on these chicks like, you're recording this for clout, you're recording for clout and things like that. It's like, it's almost like if I had heard that story secondhand, part of me would have been like, there's just no way this guy said all of those words in a row. Like, that's not a real thing. It's like, nope, here it is on video. It's absolutely real. Like, my God, dude, like, have some fucking dignity, man.
Yeah. All right. That's your competition. As they say, that's what you're dealing with, right? I mean, anyway, I got this other thread that I bookmarked. It's a list of footballers' wives that cheated on them. So, if you're unfamiliar with the game of football, also known as soccer in North America, it's the most popular sport in the world. I think it's right up there with Formula One. I don't know if it's more watched than Formula One or close to, but very popular sport. These guys make a lot of money. They're looked upon by society. Men want to be them, right? Men will go to stadiums and buy jerseys with their last name on their back, not their last name, but the player's last name on their back. They'll buy a jersey for their wife or girlfriend, and she'll wear it with the man that's playing on the soccer pitch with his last name on her back as well. So men want to be them, and women want to be with them. But here we have a story of several footballers whose wives apparently stepped out on the marriage and cheated on them. Francesco Totti. We got another guy over here, Josip, allegedly caught his wife cheating in their matrimonial home when he got home to surprise her. Odarte Lamptey, funny last name. DNA confirmed that 3 children they had in 21 years of marriage weren't his. Unreal.
Wait, read that
Ronaldo,
second part.
Court gave her GHC 200,000. I don't know what GHC is as far as currency, and a 4-bedroom house as divorce settlement.
That's what you get.
Yeah, she cheats on you. You raise her kids, who happen to be
21 years.
You chase excellent on a football pitch, make lots and lots of money, and you know, that's how you get treated. Ronaldo Nazario, wife allegedly cheated on him with Clarence Seedorf. Afri Akwa, I don't know how to pronounce that. Wife cheated on him with national teammate Jordan. Again, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. She was caught on tape saying her husband, Afri, looks like a monkey. And his dick is small compared to Jordan. Oh, man. Coyote. A DNA test revealed he's not the biological father of his 3 children with his wife. That is wild, dude. That is wild. And she's built like a refrigerator, and he's raising kids that are not his while he plays football and makes bank.
The pastor
is allegedly the father to the children. There's another one. Germany, DNA test revealed the 2 children he thought were his and father for 16 years actually belonged to his wife's ex-partner. Shocking, eh? Rodriguez Giggs, his wife Natasha slept with his brother Ryan for 8 years. Oh, dude, your own brother? That is just, that's horrible. That's horrible. Dijon, his wife was caught having an affair with her old friend who was a forestry worker. A footballer got cheated on by his wife because she was alpha widowed by a guy that cuts down trees. Wild.
Shout out to all the forestry workers out there, though.
Yeah, you're all doing good
Some
work.
good dudes.
Lee Mackel, wife of 10 years, was caught having sex with a chief superintendent of police in his car. Again, a footballer, world-class footballer, makes bank. Wife is caught porking the chief superintendent of cops in his car. Unreal. Kevin Phillips' wife cheated on him with a mobile phone salesman.
Like the T-Mobile rep. Like
these have all got
Verizon.
to be exes. These have all got to be like exes, like the Chads and Tyrones of the world that alpha widowed these chicks. They got nothing else going on in the world. They got good D game, and you know they get into mobile phone sales, or they get into policing, or they get into forestry work, and these girls go back to them. Guys, you have to make sure she's not hung up on exes. See, this is one of the things. I think that's the last one. This is one of the things that is failed to be emphasized enough. Okay. If you're not her first choice, if she's got a past, and people go all the time, oh, who cares how many guys she's been with, Rich? You know, Moff, why do you make such a big deal about her having, you know, a notch count of 30 or something like this? Because if she's been with that many dudes, chances are she's been alpha widowed by at least 1, 2, or 3 of them, which means she ain't going to be looking at you as her first choice. Right. So you do with that what you want to do with it.
I mean, what else needs to be said, man? It's like, how many stories do we have to show you guys? Like, how many examples? But again, they just don't listen. I mean, guys have to go through it. Everybody just thinks they're special. They think it'll never happen to them. They think that their chick is something else. We hear that all the time. She's like, you know, oh, she's got this, she's got that, but she has genuine burning desire. But like, oh, she's really hot, or that she's
Right
just
now.
she's different than other girls.
Yeah.
She's just different. No, she ain't, man.
Dude,
Or
it's
like
got to continue into perpetuity. If
Yeah.
the GBD wanes, if she gets cold or distance, there is going to be problems. There is a clock that is counted down to the end of that, right? You need to fucking check shit. You need to be like, being in a long-term relationship, I've said this many times, I'll say it again, it's a lot more work than just spinning plates and having fun. And you lose variety most times for most guys. So if you're going to take it on, be diligent, because you don't want to be raising some other dude's kids, or find out she's talking to the forestry dude that she was banging 10 years ago because she never forgot about him. She's probably messaging him on Facebook right now. Here's another one. Dude, this one hits so hard. It's so true. I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is your Virgin 5. It's obesity is way less fun if you're a man. I've seen chicks that look exactly like this that'll rip through 30, 40, 50 guys in a year. It's just not
easy.
Not that uncommon. But Poindexter there, you know, with his Miami beach t-shirt and his man tits hanging out the side. I mean, there's a competition going on with man tits right over here. He's not getting anything at all.
Disgusting.
Oh, did you see this clip with Katy Perry talking about
I showed that
women doing the dishes. Did you?
I showed that last week. Yeah, when you were out.
Okay, so I'll skip over it if you already covered it then.
Yep. Brutal.
I got a few more over here, but I don't really want to kind of monopolize the show. You got anything else that you wanted to cover?
No, I mean, obviously, like the elephant in the room. I know you've got it up there, but there's stuff in politic world. While we were talking about Chiefs players, Patrick Mahomes did an interview earlier this week or last week where he made it a state. He's a quarterback of the Chiefs. Trump had said something along the lines of, his wife, Brittany Mahomes, is a big MAGA fan, a big MAGA girl. And Patrick got up and made it very clear. And he's, probably when it's all said and done, he'll probably dethrone Tom Brady as the greatest ever. I mean, he's young. He's got 10 years plus more in the league, at least. Already won, I think, 3 Super Bowls at this point. But he made it very clear that he didn't want to endorse anybody politically. He didn't want to endorse any candidates. And it just is interesting because this is why conservatives will this is the problem with conservatives, is that we don't have. It's perfectly fine if people want to get up and say, hey, I'm a Kamala Harris supporter and this and that and the other. I mean, but you have a guy whose wife is a staunch Trump supporter, who the owners of the Chiefs are famously very conservative. Their kicker is Harrison Butker, who faced all that backlash earlier this year about his commencement speech at the St. Augustine College. And so, I understand maybe he's taking the Michael Jordan stance. Michael Jordan very famously didn't endorse candidates because he says, what's the line? It's like, Republicans buy shoes too. It's all about the business. I get it. But he doesn't have the brand. He doesn't have the reach. He certainly doesn't have the endorsements that a Jordan would have. So, I think I don't know. I think it's kind of a soft way out. I mean, it's only, maybe he's protecting his reputation or whatever it is, but I don't know, man. I think it's interesting that the only athletes that are going to get up on stage and say we're with somebody are going to be the liberals and the folks on the left. So I think it's a big miss on his part, but what can you do?
So I put the Trump second attempt in the title as well.
Oh yeah,
because this happened recently. Apparently, this guy, and there's more information that's getting released on this, obviously, as time goes on. I mean, he was being flown back and forth from Ukraine to help recruit fighters for the conflict. It says over here he was only charged with possession of a firearm while a convicted felon and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. So it's not even a registered firearm, or maybe it was registered at one point, but stolen and scratched off the serial number, but not charged with attempted murder, which is pretty interesting because he tried to shoot the former president. What's up with that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly. I'm still trying to follow along, and all the details are still relatively fuzzy. I mean, it went from, at first there was 2 guys that were shooting at each other, and Trump wasn't a target, and then it became he was a target, and this guy got arrested. And I mean, and they've already started scrubbing his social media accounts. Thankfully, there's some smart people out there that have archived some of his posts, but heavily Democratic supporter, made a bunch of donations to Democratic campaign campaign folks and senators, big Kamala Harris supporter, LGBT, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, here we go again, man. I mean, what's so baffling is that, and if we allow, and we go back to the debate even, because I mean, that's probably something we should touch on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you saw the posts that our friend made in our chat saying that this is another guy that was
BlackRock commercials.
BlackRock commercial. Dude, he was.
Of the action.
He was. This is him right here. Watch.
To vote leaders.
Right there. That's him.
Wow.
What are the chances of the 2 attempts on Trump being made by people in a BlackRock commercial? The odds of that have got to be like exponential. That's ridiculous.
Astronomical. I mean, yeah. And they're scrubbing this guy's stuff. They're scrubbing all his socials. But I mean, if you go back even to
Biden Harris sticker on the back of his pickup truck.
And he's recruiting people to go to Ukraine and stuff. Obviously, this guy was loopy in the head. But if you go back to the rhetoric, that's all we ever hear about Trump, is that he's the rhetoric and that he's calling for violence and there's all this stuff. And it's like, when you have the left and the Democrats that are saying that he is the biggest threat to democracy that we've ever faced, or the biggest you know, he sanctioned the worst thing to ever happen to freedom in America. That's the stuff that gets people shot at. And there's no recourse. There's no repercussion. There's no, I mean,
Check
we
this
can
out.
talk about that.
They are, in fact, inciting violence. This is what's happening. So
Sure.
check this out. I just want you to listen. It's a quick 9-second clip.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact.
I'm just gonna repeat it if you didn't hear it. He said they're gonna have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact. Right. So they're encouraging people to go out there and take the man's life, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like this back and forth nonsense. It's utterly absurd. The guy's like made out of Teflon. Like he dodges everything so far. Like, but this is absurd. The lengths and the efforts that they're going through on public television, on the news, saying you're going to have to go out there and put a bullet in him.
I mean, everything about this has stunk from the beginning. I mean, now we've got, you know, the debate. It was basically 3-on-1. You know, you had the ABC moderators that were not moderating. They were basically trying to debate Trump live. It's not a moderator's job. Your job as a moderator is to ask questions, is to keep the conversation going. You're not there to fact check people. I mean, look, Trump had some moments that he flopped and he got beat in some ways. I think the one that was the biggest glaring one is when, you know, the issue of immigration came up, where Kamala Harris is obviously extremely weak on, and that's where Trump should dominate her. And then she threw this little snide remark in there at the end about how people don't show up to his rallies, or how about people get hurt at his rallies and get carried out in body bags. And instead of hammering on the immigration, instead of saying, like, look, she wants to dodge the issue, she wants to talk about rallies, all of a sudden, here's the deal with immigration. He then took 2 minutes and threw it back and said, well, nobody goes to her rallies. She has to bus people in. It's like, so he has these opportunities to do really well, and he just squanders them. And it's how does an assassination attempt,
You have to take female
not get brought up?
Seriously.
How can you have a debate and not have a single question or any sort of reference to the assassination attempt be brought up? I mean, and now there's so far as that they had an ABC whistleblower that is signed and sworn testimony, like, and it's got document notarized that ABC gave questions to Kamala beforehand. There were topics that were going to be completely off limits, otherwise she wouldn't do the debate. They had reportedly said they were going to fact check Donald Trump, but not fact check Kamala Harris. I mean, and if this thing, but here's the thing, and here's the biggest thing that everybody should take away from this: it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. These people are going to continue to get away with this. There's nothing you can do about it. Nobody will be held accountable. Nobody will be prosecuted. Kamala Harris will not be punished. There will not be any sort of crime or there will not be any sort of criminal charges towards fixing the election. It's just going to be swept under the rug. It's going to be new news by tomorrow. I mean, I'm still waiting for charges and news to come out about all these dumbasses who thought they were getting free money from Chase Bank via the glitch. And anything's going to happen to them? No. So it's like, if you guys aren't listening and you're not paying attention, these people will never be held accountable. Justice is not going to prevail. You live in a system that is rigged against you. You have to take care of yourself and your people. You have to draw a perimeter around those that you care about and keep everybody else out. It's what we've been saying.
Yeah, I'm just sort of scrolling down through all the search results here for this guy, and yeah, it's
everything's already being scrubbed.
Well, somebody had recorded his Facebook page before they took it down. I just watched a quick video of it. There's not much really there. He's talking about recruiting soldiers for Ukraine and Afghanistan and stuff like that. But holy shit, like this stuff keeps going on and on and on. I saw something that popped up here in the chat I wanted to address as well too. This dude over here says the spinning plates thing is stupid. I get this pushback from people often. Oh, why would you do that? That's that's dishonest. Blah 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 blah. Okay,
call in.
Yeah, they never call.
He won't. Yeah, he won't.
I mean, the link's there to call in, but they never call in. It's always some dumb argument, like it's got to do with, I don't know, religion or some value that they hold. But it's like, Dude, are you stupid? Women are doing this naturally. They're not just dating you. Women have a phone, which is a Rolodex of dicks. They are busy. They're getting hit on all the time. All they got to do is pick it up and message any random dude, and they can go out for a drink, a coffee, a smash, whatever they want. It's very, very common. All you're doing is you're taking a page out of their playbook and you're using it for yourself. You're contemplating options simultaneously, like she is, and you should be doing it that way so the cream rises to the top, so you can see who's got genuine burning desire. Because only a chick that's got GBD for you will tolerate you seeing other women. Just the truth and reality of it all. So
I mean, it's the best of both worlds. I mean, if you're a guy that needs to do it, I mean, for it does two things. It's the maximum potential upside and maximum possible upside, and it protects your downside, right? The downside being becoming overly attached or too attached or getting one-itis for one girl in particular, and doing stupid things like over texting, over investing, going up to the cart girl and professing your undying Shakespearean love for her. So it keeps you from doing that. And at the same time, it allows you to spend time with multiple women at the same time, so the cream can rise to the top. Let's say it takes you have to date 6 or 7 girls, 10 girls to find one that you think you might want to have kids with or be an LTR with or whatever that might be. And the average relationship length is 3 months. Well, that's 30 months, right? That's 2.5 years versus if you did that over the course of 6 months, it's just making it way harder on yourself, and you're investing way more time than you absolutely need to. So, but the arguments are always BS. It's like, oh, it's moral or it's about right and wrong. It's like, whatever. I don't care. Taking a page out of a girl's book, like, you guys want to use that argument, that's fine, because guys will come back and say like, oh, we'll be better than women. Like, we're better than women. We're morally superior. And it's just like, it doesn't matter, man. Like, it's not your job to be morally superior.
Dude. That's how you get ruined.
It's like, it's not your job to be morally superior. It's your job to look out for yourself and give yourself the best possible outcome. Because if you don't, that's how you end up like this guy we talked about earlier, who has a 4-year-old with a girl that doesn't want to be with him anymore because you just chose to just do the right thing. Wake up, man.
The problem is that it takes
incorrect
so much time.
No, it doesn't. Why?
Really
Somebody
doesn't.
explain to me how it takes this much time.
You
It
only
really
deal
doesn't.
with chicks that have GBD for you. It only takes a lot of time if you suck at it. It only takes a lot of time if you're not the best version of yourself, or close to being like a strong version of yourself. It's not hard when you're like on a purpose, when you're putting a dent in the universe, when you're making money, when you're solid, when you're good looking and you've got cash. It's not difficult because you just choose. You just, whatever. What's going on? Lunch? Good. Let's go. Right? Come over. Okay, let's go. Whatever. They don't want? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Next.
And it's like, I'm not saying have 10 or 15 girls all at one given time. I mean, I think for most guys, the maximum, I think the sweet spot is 3. The sweet spot is 3, because then you have, three days a week.
Easy.
You've got going on dates. You've got 4 nights of the week to do stuff with yourself or stuff with your friends. That should be pretty manageable. Any more than 3, like, you might be able to push it to 4, but now you're starting to get really like, yeah, it's going to take up a lot of time. So no, I don't think you should be going out with a different girl every single week, but you need to have a rotation enough so if 1 or even 2 drops off, you can replace them quickly. It's just the name of the game, man. Like, it only takes up too much of your time if you're investing too much of your time. If you're going out with these girls on dates and you're spending 2.5, 3 hours a week with each one, then yeah, that can add up. It's up to you. If these girls are taking too much of your time, that's a you problem.
I just got something here that popped up in my feed. Apparently, Lizzo has lost a ton of weight. Wasn't she being?
She's lost some.
Wasn't she being all praised for like embracing the obesity? Now she's going to lose the weight.
Yes, seems to be the case. She's lost some. I mean, she's still fat as fuck, but she's lost some weight.
I don't really know what she looked like before, but this is apparently a
she still looks bad.
Progress photograph here.
Yeah, she's huge. She's still a whale.
Yeah. Anyway,
but good for her. I mean, keep going. I mean, she's probably got another 100 pounds probably to lose. Yeah. She can get there probably in a year and a half. Like, keep it going.
Yeah. All right. You got anything that you wanted to cover before we wrap up, bro?
No, nothing for me. Nothing for me in particular.
I don't think you guys have ever seen me laugh that hard, but that golf cart.
I haven't.
With the the poetry that he threw at her, I've never seen anybody simp that hard. That was
Crazy.
wild. That was wild. All
What
right.
are you doing, man?
So real quick, you doing a show later on this week?
Yeah, Thursday, same time as always.
Cool. I normally run the ad reel, but I forgot to. So I'm going to take a minute and talk about the school because, again, we are increasing the price later on this month. It's got tons and tons of value on it. There's a lot going on there. So if you just go to the School of Unplugging on the school platform, or you in the description below, I'll drop it after the show. You go check that out. Watch the video. It explains it all, what's all in there. You're going to want to get in because when the price goes up, it's just going to keep costing you more as time goes on. But get in because it's really good stuff in there. And I'm going to do my show Wednesday. I got a really big show. I'm going to do show Wednesday. I'm going to talk about the rally and some lessons that I learned from it that I want to dispense for you because I make observations about people when I do stuff, when I travel, when I go around. I really like paying attention to people watch and behavior watch. So I got some something strong for you this week. So we'll wrap it up on that note. Anything you want to say before we bounce, Moff?
No, School of Unplugging, man. Get in there. A lot of good stuff. I mean, we've added so much content. We're only 3 months in, and we've started off with, 25 hours, 30 hours with all the Zoom recordings and modules and things we've added since then. Like, we should have increased the price way earlier. So I'm telling you, man, it's criminally undervalued, and you can save yourself a good chunk of money if you do it on an annual basis versus monthly, and then you don't have to worry about it every month. So set it and forget it.
Do it. Get your ass in there. All right. Have an awesome night, guys. Peace.